Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Real Estate Investing with Alex Deacon. My name is Adam, and I am here with the Deacon of Real Estate, Alex Deacon. Alex.
Hey, Adam, thank you so much for the kind introduction. How are you today?
I'm doing good on this Friday the 13th.
It might be Friday the 13th, but it's really, really nice out there.
Gorgeous.
It's absolutely gorgeous today. So everybody's enjoying the weather. What are we going to talk about today, Adam?
I don't know, Alex. I was thinking that maybe we kind of hit upon this every once in a while, different times of the year, kind of get a different mindset on it. So maybe we'll do it today, springtime, starting to get real heavy spring fever, middle of March, in the middle of a little pandemic, I guess we say.
Yes.
So when is the best time to buy real estate? It's a conversation that it's ever long. It's going to be the never-ending story, but we like to revisit it every once in a while just to kind of give you a little refresher.
Yeah, makes sense, and it's an important topic, right? I don't think you can talk about it enough, and that's why I wanted to do this one again, because it is an important topic. We can cover it multiple different ways and come up with just different ideas and different aha moments that people can take with that. So the reason I brought this up is because of the coronavirus thing, and that's going to affect not just, your lakefront properties, your oceanfront, your vacation properties are going to be drastically affected, right? Disney's going to be affected, Las Vegas, everything. I mean, everything that's a destination. Sporting events.
They might cancel WrestleMania.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a whole different topic, right?
It's a whole different topic.
So it's insane because I've never seen anything like it. Mm-hmm. I've been around on this planet for 53 years. I've never experienced anything like it. I've been in real estate for almost 30 now. It's quite new to me, right?
Fascinating time.
So where's it going to stop? How's it going to affect everything? I know it's going to trickle down from. This all is going to affect everybody, whether you're a janitor, whether you're an accountant, whether you work for the airlines, whether you work in Vegas at a casino. It's going to affect you somehow, some way. Some areas more than others, right? I don't think Pittsburgh will be hit as bad because we're really not a destination. We're not people don't come here to vacation. They don't come here to visit a whole lot other than for sporting events and such. But I think it's perception's reality. Correct?
Correct.
Perception is reality. Why are the shelves empty at Walmart for toilet paper now is beyond me. Why is everybody going out and buying toilet paper?
I don't know.
Because I just don't get it. Okay, so, but that just gives you a general idea of the panic that's setting in because of the news media and just, I understand it. I get it. But as an investor, I really wish I was into the stock market and had a whole bunch of free cash right now because I would probably buy a lot of good stocks that are way down because of this whole thing that's probably going to pass.
Right.
So the same goes for real estate. I think this scare and this panic is going to eventually get worse, and it's going to eventually cause some real estate owners to panic, and then they're going to sell. That's why stocks have plummeted for no reason, and that's why real estate's going to potentially plummet for a short time. Now, of course, we hope that this pandemic, this virus thing doesn't get out of control.
Right.
Everything I've heard about it, it's mainly affecting the elderly. It affects very few people under the age of 30. And so the sicker you are, the older you are, the more this virus can really take effect. And, we have such good health care in this country, and, we're not like some of the other countries. So I'm hoping that this is just a 2 or 3 or 4 month thing.
Right.
But during those 2 or 3 or 4 months, if that's how long it lasts, that could affect real estate in a drastic way, and it could be a great time to buy. Okay. So my radar's up for good deals now. I'm banking on that this whole virus thing is going to be temporary, and then we'll get through it. The sky's not falling, is what I'm getting.
Exactly. Correct.
So in times like this, great times to buy. Other great times to buy would have been in 2007, 8, when the market crashed, when the mortgage climate just went to hell in a handbasket. That would have been a great time to buy anywhere, like especially like the coastal, like Florida coastal areas, lakefront properties, because those ones got hit the hardest.
Right.
And the other places that got hit the hardest were the ones that appreciated very quickly, significantly, like California and Florida, Vegas, because prices were doubling and tripling in 10 years. I mean, in sometimes 5 years.
Right.
So you couldn't sustain that. So those properties that were worth $500,000 in 2007, in 2008 were worth $250,000. And so you could buy those properties if you can rent them, sustain the mortgage payment, and then just sit and wait. Those same properties today are probably worth back to 500, maybe 6 or 7 now. So you could have really made a killing. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't financially in a position to buy at that time. So you have to be financially very strong. You have to have liquid cash, you have to have experience, you have to have a good portfolio in order for the banks, when the market is down, the banks are going to be shy to lend money also. So that's why it's even harder, it's even smarter to set yourself up for markets like this. Be prepared, be financially very strong. So when you go to the bank, they're like, okay, this is a solid buyer, this is a solid borrower, we're going to lend money to him, her, it, whatever. We're going to lend money to this entity so they can go ahead and buy these properties. And so now's the time to start setting yourself up for that, because whether it's the coronavirus now or a market crash in the future, it's going to happen. I mean, we're past the average time span of where markets typically are on the downside, because it's up and down, and we're ready for a down. It just hasn't happened yet. It's coming.
So in a way, I mean,
just to reiterate, it's coming, but this coronavirus may push it there a lot quicker.
Thank you. That kind of answered part of my question, because the first end of it was gonna be, not to make light of any situation, but in a way, panic in any situation could create deals almost every time. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Perception is reality. So the general perception of, I don't know, the people I talk to are like, this coronavirus thing is silly.
Right.
But if you watch the news and you watch what's going on with government shutting down this and shutting down that, and it's scary, right? I'm like, okay, this is serious. So, but I'm astute enough to know that I'm banking on it, that this is going to pass.
Correct. Right. Yeah. That's.
I hope it does pass, for God's sake. So if it doesn't, we're all in a pretty bad, global crisis. But but I think it's going to pass, and you have to be ready, and you have to be. Timing is important. When to buy, if you should buy. It's not for everybody to buy in times when the market is down, because sometimes you have to be patient. You might buy when it's down, thinking you got a great deal, but you might own these properties that the real value and the real return is going to be later. It's not going to be now. So if you get that $500,000 property for $250,000 as an example, it doesn't mean you're rich now. It means there's potential super wealth there, but you have to wait. So sometimes you have to wait through some trying times to get there.
And would there also be times where just because you get a good deal, there's not necessarily a guarantee that the property is immediately or ever going to go up at all? I mean, it could even go down. If you invest in the wrong places, it could start to go down. Now, granted, your real estate IQ should play into that, but sometimes people throw snake eyes, right? So is that something where you could go in a time like this and say coronavirus gets worse? So say we invest now, and I guess what I'm trying to say is take the risks, but don't be careful and make sure that you can afford the risks, right? That's a part of setting yourself up in moments like this.
It's always risk reward. So yeah. Now, I'm always looking at risk versus reward.
Okay.
And worst case scenario, best case scenario. If I can live with the worst case, then I'm moving forward. Okay, that's normal circumstances. This coronavirus throws a monkey wrench in everything.
Right.
So if this coronavirus thing becomes a global crisis health-wise, and it truly becomes a crisis. Right now, I don't think it's a crisis. I think it's panic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know I'm not a
right.
a doctor, biologist, whatever who would know this stuff. I don't know it. If this gets really bad, who cares about your real estate holdings?
I guess, yeah.
I'll be happy just to be alive.
Right, yeah.
You know? So, yeah, it's if you're worried about risk, you're always worried about risk, and that's the only thing you think about, you probably shouldn't be an investor.
Right, sure.
So, but you have to know when to jump into the game, and that's when there's panic, and that's when the market's down. And so I just see this as a potential opportunity. And again, I want everyone to understand that I hope and pray that this virus is nothing, and it's just a panic right now for no reason.
Correct.
God only knows. I hope that, but these are the times when you want to get your radar out and you want to start looking and thinking about buying, because the market could be in a nosedive. We don't know yet.
And I guess
at the beginning.
That's what I think people are worried about, because I think the toilet paper thing that's going on in America right now is that if you go on Amazon and different websites, they say they're not getting them back until like the middle or end of April, which is about a month and a half from now. So I think that's why people are panicking, is if businesses get shut down for X number of weeks just till this clears up, then there's the ripple effect of everything,
Because it should be
on
crazy. Toilet paper is.
Right.
First thing I'm thinking about is like steak and food. But
a lot of canned goods.
I'm thinking about what's coming out. I'm thinking about what am I going to put in my mouth. It's strange. But so the best times to look. Okay, so that's on a larger scale, like over the course of years and years. The best time to look is obviously when the market's down, when it's starting to go down, when it's hit bottom, which you never know. You never know when it's starting or when it's hit.
Right.
You just have to be aware and watch, and then hopefully you're making the right decisions. And always you're waging risk versus reward. Okay, but like during the course of a year, the short term, when should I buy and sell? I think the best time to buy is now in this area. It might be different than maybe in Arizona or Southern California, because the weather doesn't have much of an effect. Okay, but here the best time to buy and start looking is typically like late fall and in winter, because you will get some better deals around that time, because your school tax bills around here, for the most part, except in the city of Pittsburgh, come in like September. Okay, that's the biggest school tax bill. People have it sitting on their desk and they owe that tax bill. 2, the weather's starting to change. So if you have a vacant house and you have a tax bill on your desk, and you have a mortgage payment to make on the vacant house, and winter's coming, you're looking at a tax bill. Winter, the market gets slower. Winter, your utility bills are higher. Winter, you have a vacant house, and who knows what can happen to it, because it could be vandalized, it could have a frozen pipe, things can go wrong. And 5, panic sets in. That person might just I want this thing to go away. Yeah, I wanted $300,000 in July, but I'm not getting what I want. I will take $200,000, pay off the mortgage. I want it to go away. That's why sometimes late fall, winter is a good time to buy a real estate deal, because you can find the perfect storm, which I just explained to you would be it. And that applies too for perhaps foreclosures. Sometimes banks want to get it off their books by the end of the year. So a bank might be a little bit more negotiable on a couple of their properties or their entire portfolio of thousands of homes. They might be a little more negotiable because they want to get that asset, which it's not even an asset, it's a liability. They want to get it off their books before the end of the year.
Do you think there's also, whenever a potential client is looking at houses in the winter, in the late fall into winter, I think everyone's always serious, but sometimes people are being moved at that time because of necessity. End of the year, they're getting relocated for jobs. Sometimes does it make it a little bit easier? I mean, there's less competition, so that probably isn't as good. But at the same time, is there sometimes more serious buyers during those months, or
if you mean when you're when you're on flipping the coin and you want to sell?
Correct. Yes.
I would say anytime you need to sell is a good time.
Okay.
Regardless of what day it is. If it's December 25th, or if it's May 1st, if you need to sell, you need to get your home listed and out there and marketed.
I guess in listening to everything else you've said, it's a lot of times it's just if you need to sell, sell and listen to the market, feel it, ride the waves as best as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So what else we got, Mr. D?
I don't know. I think we might have covered most of it. We could go on and on about when's the right time to buy, but I think, and when's the right time to sell. But I think we covered most of what I wanted to talk about today, and it all stemmed from the coronavirus thing. I thought, well, now's the right time to start looking, and instead of sitting back, I'm ramping up to see how many good deals are out there. But I'm still a little skeptical too, because you don't know where this is going to lead. Right. This whole thing could take 6 months to pass. This thing could take years to pass,
and it's crazy.
It's going to be, the world economy will be in dire straits if that's the case. We'll see.
Yeah. But at the end,
this is unknown.
It really is.
If it's not like the market, it's just going through a slump. It's coming back.
Right.
This is not has nothing to do with the market. It has to do with the lives of billions of people, and who knows how that's going to affect things.
Right. I guess that's the scary. But life, as the story goes, not the life goes on, but business has to continue, right?
Yep.
Don't feel bad about conducting business in times of time. So I don't know, Mr. Deacon. That's it for this episode.
I'm out.
We're tapped out. All right, guys, listen, here's the cheap plugs. Make sure you're following us on social media outlets. Look up Deacon Hoover, your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook, LinkedIn's. Check us out, this very podcast, Real Estate Investing with Alex Deacon, on all the major podcasting platforms. You can follow us on dhrea.com. We have new blogs, podcasts, things of that nature up on that site. And follow all our listings all over the place. Pittsburgh Property Management is mace.com, is Mace Property Management, and you can also go to alexdeacon.com to find out more information. All right, enough of the cheap plugs. Alex, thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic Friday the 13th episode. We appreciate you on that one. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Real Estate Investing with Alex Deacon. We'll see you next time.